Hi everyone, Matt here. I'm here recording this, while I'm uploading the previous part. It hasn't even finished loading in YouTube Studio. And today, we are going to continue on with Pester Quest, Part 8 at this point. With Volume 6, Route 2, The Scourge of the High Seas. Your latest narrative, John, has you walking down the Alternian shore. The two moons light up this beach cove in shades of pink and lime green, the reflections playing at shimmering patterns in the gentle waves. It would be beautiful if not for the haggard, monstrous gulls pecking up the flesh from dead and pungently rotting fish, crabs, and even one of their own. You keep your distance as they eye you warily go on their chipped beaks. These are not potential friends. Everywhere you jump, Sir Endipity seems to guide your hand. But would it be right to call your fortune? The night is cool, almost cold. You kick a pure white seashell down the beach. It skips gracefully in the dark gray sand. You have brought friends together and just barely begun to master this tremendous and strange new power. But no, you think, you are not fortunate. As you walk alone down the sand that's still radiating stored up heat from the searing day, you feel a pang. Something is missing. You know you felt this way before, but you can't place when. You have a gulf within you, the widen and breadth of this ocean, and in isolation so plain, so true, that it seems impassable, invincible. You step on a weird bug and you don't even care. Yes, you are filled with a sudden, almost comforting conviction. Nothing you have done on your journey has really made a difference. If you can pick up and put down the lives of these alien weirdos and human weirdos, and shake them like an Etch-a-Sketch when things go wrong, are you really accomplishing anything? Or are you just building shitty castles in the sand with flimsy plastic implements, castles that won't mean shit for nothing when the tide rises? You've decided. You are a creature of solitude. You are a rock. You are an island. From now on, you walk alone. There may be an angled figure crouched with terrible posture on the dock ahead. Sure, that figure may be sitting next to an intriguing-looking moored ship. Yes, but surely one glimpse of a potential life to meddle in won't immediately make you fall off the wagon back to a life of internet friendship, right? Oh, sweet, new friend. God damn it. You amble over to the girl hunched on the dock like a stupid thembo friend slut you are. Doing an acrobatic fucking pirouette off the wagon, she hasn't seen you yet, so you watch her like a creep. She's leaning over a complicated pile of papers, erasing boxes and filling them in again. Every once in a while, she pauses to roll various dice. As soon as you take one step onto the wooden dock, she looks at you and jumps with a feline quickness into a standing position, looking immediately ready for a fight. Well, who are you? You raise your hand in a pathetic sort of innocent and weak motion, which for you is basically any motion. Wait a second. You're that weirdo that was bothering Kanya, aren't you? Yep, you're exactly that weirdo. And now you're here to saying hello to a stranger and maybe make a new friend. Isn't that great? Great, just what I needed. More meddling. I know I'm the coolest, but I'm kind of busy right now. Big campaign tonight. Dude, you are so good at campaigns, you tell her. You're all about hope and change. You helped Al Gore hang a Chad, Tip Canoe, and Tyler too. What even the fuck are you saying? Don't call me dude. Anything else, for that matter. You mean you're down to help? Maybe be her campaign manager? Ha! I'm the captain here, buddy. As it happens, I'm currently all out of first mates. Swady? Swatty? Words? Oh, it's like a boat thing. Yes? So that's why there's a boat here. Where are all the papers on the ground for? The campaign, dumbass! And the character sheets for me, the greatest petticoat sea grift to ever to sail the 8 seas. One of our friends was raised in a cave, and she still knows what a flarp is. Well, you can zap over to her cave and ask her then. Her look of indifference is immediately replaced with a tilt of the head, as though your threat to leave caught her attention. Ew, not unless you want to smell like cat piss for weeks and get high off secondhand nip. Look, it's simple. Pick a name and roll up some stats. For example, I'm Marquise Spinneret Mindfang. I'm the scourge of the high seas, an undefeated champion of naval flarp. The colors of the horizon turn even high bloods into sniveling cowards. You say that, it sounds really cool, but aren't troll names 6 letters long? You mean you've only met a couple? You've only met a couple before this, but for some reason you have a really strong sense of the rules here. I'm in character here. Try to keep up. I guess that explains the outfit. She seems really into this. Maybe weirdly into this. It's all a bit intense. Isn't this just a game? Flarp is more than just a game. And I'm the best there is. How about this? If you agree to make a character and sail with me, I'll tell you my real name. You look at her elaborate costume, over to your ship, and decide, why the hell not? You've already made your friend bed, now you have to sleep in it. Not that you're going to sleep or anything, that would be patently ridiculous. Okay, let's walk you through this. You should be flattered that a game master like me is giving you the full tutorial. I have to read the books myself. No help. First thing you do is roll values for each of the 10 dice rostra. Simple, right? She pops a huge bag of dice out of her Silodex, starts handing you groups at a time. Roll 2d4 for Dice Rostrum, Throne of the Empress, and get 2 ones. You roll 6d6 for Dice Rostrum, Conductor Stand, and 6 fucking snake eyes stare up at you from the wood of the dead. Wow, you're really bad at this. Take the insult lying down. You've got to hand it to her. When she's right, she's right. And she's right, so she's right. You finished all 26 dice rolls required for this game, and you've gotten the lowest on each one. What rotten luck! I've never seen anyone roll this low before. I didn't even know you could get a 0. It's okay, we can save this by putting the stats in the right place. She flips to another page of the player's handbook that shows you the attributes of Flarp. For some reason, you can read them, despite just arriving on this planet for the first time. Right? So your Vim, Grit, Pulchritude, and Grace combine with real-life vitals to make your HP. Wait, real-life vitals? Your body is freaking shitty. Is this some kind of hardcore game? This is the most dangerous game? If you die in the game, do you die in real life? Yeah? You didn't know? The sheer combined shock of what you don't know could kill an elephant quicker than Thomas Edison trying to discriminate an immigrant. You get to roll again when you level up, so you won't be so pathetic forever. I mean, if you survive. But with a scourge like me at your side, you're on easy street. I'm jealous of you, really. You gulp and nod. Okay, let's finish this. The Marquise Greet. I'm just calling her the Mar. The Mar grins. Her lipstick smears a bit where her fangs jut out. You'd think that's just how it is for trolls wearing lipstick. Kanya's was perfect. She pulls an 8-ball out of her pocket and smashes it. Suddenly and violently on the dock, you jump at the noise. She looks at you, pitifully, and then decides not to make fun of you. Out of the wrecked plastic, intricate spear, a gross fucking grubby worm appears. It's like the size of a wiener dog. And it's wriggling, you see that it's pulsating. Covered in blue-tinted family recreation water once inside an 8-ball, the grub's swollen posterior glistens. It extends to deposit a massive brood of eggs, each glowing in the center with a slowly pulsating LED light. This is so fucking gross, you look away and heave a bit, leaning off the dock. So far, this game sucks ass. Jag. Don't tell me you've never seen a game grub before. You tell her that you have never seen a game grub before. Also, maybe she should give a CW or a CW before she makes you watch a thing like that includes a glistening posterior words. What? Ah shit, yeah, that was pretty gross. Here. You bring up the pause menu, click warnings, and you gave a read before making the informed decision. Have those been here the whole time? Veriska taps her foot impatiently while you fuck around in the game client. For some reason, seeing full list of content warnings isn't easing your anxiety about what's ahead. It reminds you of something that once made you really angry. In fact, you're especially worried about the gore and death tags. Maybe you should just peace out of this. There's basically no harm whatsoever in you yeeting out of this one. It might save you a drowning for good measure. Not that flirtation with dangerous ends is exactly rare for you. Let's peace out. You know what? You're not feeling up to tabletop gaming today. You close your eyes and feel yourself sink into another narrative. Wait! You're lost. Sadness. Let's play the Flarp with Veriska. Blech. You know what? You're an informed reader and a prepared gamer. You've got this. You ask Veriska what's next. She points to one of the glowing, blinking eggs which is hatching a pixelated-looking bat. It flaps its way into the air with a high-pitched squeak and starts glowing and projecting a holographic image of a torch. Alright, all you have to do is assign your dice frostra on your attribution scone. What? Pick your best and worst stats. Your top 2 stats determine your starting class. There are a lot of classes, but I'm already the best one. Alright, well that seems simple enough. Drag attributes into the dice rostrum you want to utilize for them. This decision is permanent. Make sure you are satisfied before pressing finalize and sconing them. Wow. Alright. Vim, your vigor. Primary component of HP. High Vim makes you more durable, while low Vim makes you more dangerous when you're vulnerable. Rascality. Your ability to get away with mischief. Rascality is your compliance matrix. Defense. Dexterity. The measure of your finesse, paired with Gra for intricate tasks. Grace. Your ability to maintain your poise and smoothness, paired with Dex for intricate tasks. Pulchritude. Your suaveness and hard-boiled credentials, important for any action that requires charm or charisma. Yoink. Appetite. Your hunger and enthusiasm. High appetite makes you more effective in combat, while low appetite improves your passive healing. Man grit. GRT isn't just for men, but is what helps you lift safes or keep your cool when you're wounded. Hubris. Your sheer confidence. High hubris lets you overrule your clouder more successfully. Low hubris increases your compliance matrix offense. Leverage. Leverage is the foundation of balance of power between clouders. Imagination. Your inventiveness. Highly useful for all classes when clouding. Compliance. Let's go Rascality. Appetite. Yep. Current class. Calmly, son of a bitch. Frontline Vanguard. Imagination. Grace. Pablo Pasodoble. Hubris and dexterity. Five Finger Philly Fatale. Alright. Imagination and Grace. No. Let's go Grace and Appetite. Tummy Wonder. What about Appetite and then Grace? Tummy Wonder. Let's go Mangrit and Rascality. Gaptooth Ragamuffin. Alright. Leverage and Grace. Free Musketeer. Appetite can be Oracle's Deus. Scaldy. Your Compliance Matrix Defense. Let's put that on 6. Vigor. Tyranny's Tribune. Tribune. Dexterity. Let's put that on 4. Hubris. Pulchritude, your suaveness. Put that. Ah, fuck. Can randomize it. Alright, Pulchritude, suaveness, and Grace. SP Crooner. Appetite can be a 4. Vigor can be a 3. 5. Leverage. Let's put that on 6. Imagination. Imagination. Let's put that on 8. Mangrit. Let's put that on 3. Measure of your defense. Paired with Gree for intricate tasks. Hubris and Escaldy. Let's put that in 1 and then Hubris. There we go. I did it. Her highest attributes are PLC and GRA. GRA. I don't know. Yeah. Your starting class will be SBA Crooner. I know it's in the character description, but please don't actually sing. A max level Petticoat, Sea Grift, and a level 1 Espia Crooner. Not exactly the meta strat. You're lucky you're paired with the #1 gamer on Alternia. Before I can carry you to victory, we just need one more thing. There's more of this bullshit? What now? Is a giant sandworm going to poke its head out of the sand and puke up some more fucking game mechanics that will be described in excruciating narrative detail? Quit being so dramatic. Your character needs a name. Oh, a name! You already have one of those, though. You told Jade it alright. But man, you're not feeling as comfortable with it right now for some reason. Why is thinking of yourself as a distinct as a distinct being with an identity and a history feel so uncomfortable? What's wrong with you? Might as well just make up a character name. That is the question. Marks. Sure. The Mar welcomes you aboard her ship, Marks. As soon as you confirm your name, the other eggs start squelching and cracking into more low-flying holographic biotech projectors of various shapes and sizes. Moths and dragonflies and lightning bugs zipping off into the distance. Vriska capsulogs all her various books and character sheets, pushes her eye patch glasses up the bridge of her nose, and clambers up the gangplank of her ship, which you see has a name painted on the side in Krulian script as you follow her. Brigantine. Here, hold this. Vriska hands you a rope and you hold on to it, keeping the mainsail rolled up as she scurries to the fro, aft and bow, across the deck of the ship, making adjustments. You watch her try to tie a double bowline, but struggle with the dexterity of her mechanical fingers. Swearing in frustration under her breath, you politely look away and try to make idle conversation. You ask for her end of the bargain. What? Her name! You made a character. She tells you her name. That's the deal. She secures another rigging and stumps back over to you. You haven't really made a character until you're in costume. Is your fit not already fresh? Perhaps even the freshest? Here. She dumps an extra outfit out of her inventory, looking almost exactly like an earlier version of hers. Smaller, with more amateur stitching. You put on the big bridge coat and feel super badass. She looks at you, tilts her head to evaluate, and then grabs a jaunty hat, feather and all, from her Sildex and pops it on your head. Nice. Alright, my name's Vriska. Vriska Circuit. Don't you forget it. Vriska Circuit, or the Mar. Satisfied with her preparations, snatches the rope from you and lets it go, unfurling the mainsail. She practically skips to the captain's wheel, ready to steer the Brigantine out of the harbor. Real name basis is one step closer to friendship, though for a moment you feel like you got told that name already. Your brain is messed up enough without remembering stuff that maybe didn't happen in canon, if canon is even a real thing that means something anymore. Your unsettling introspection is interrupted by Vriska's shouting. Roll for initiative! You hear the buzz of projector bugs boarding your ship, and soon 4 flickering holograms appear on the main deck, looking like lurching zombie trolls. You already hear dice rattling on the deck, and you look over at her to cheat and figure out what you need to do. Alright, I'm starting with an 18. Looks like you gotta subtract the modifier. 19! Huh. Guess you go first, Marks. This is it. It's LARPing time. You look down at the piece of paper with your abilities ready. Ready to cast Magic Missile, or Bugsby Grasping Hand, or some shit. Pick the top attack from the list. It's your special class ability. You channel the spirit of the Especruner, point straight at one of the holographic zombies, and yell that you're casting Yodel a he who, or Yodel a he die. You grab a d20 and blow it on your hand. Your lady luck, no snake eyes, other gambling terms, whatever. You let the Oso Kit Hedron thing, of the table top destiny drop through the air, awaiting the result with bated breath. You get a 2 and miss, god damn it. Vriska laughs out loud. Check out how a real gamer does it. And then she shows you how a real gamer does it. Over the course of the next 4 holographic encounters of ballooning complexity, tediness, difficulty, and word count. She just rolls so many goddamn dice and keeps track of so many goddamn stats. You're overwhelmed, bewildered, and tired of doing math in pencil by the time the last squid-themed hollow monster dies. You were worried about the danger of this game before, but it seems like the only way you're going to die today is from fucking boredom. Then you spy. A schooner painted all in black emerges from the fog. You shout to Vriska that there's a ship on the port horizon. Vriska looks right. Does she not know the difference between port and starboard? Starboard? Huh. You point in the proper direction and she gives that mischievous grin of hers. Now it's time for the real action. We've entered the PvP enabled zone. She puts aside her character sheet and dice, drawing a blue saber. She holds it in one hand and ship's wheel in the other. That's the Rue, the ship of Dreadclaw Ophelia. Top of the Naval Flarp leaderboards. She's got a whole crew on that boat. But she's just another rich sea dweller who hired help. And she's been too scared to face me. Vriska's pointed your ship straight at the Rue and you picked up speed. You can make out a troll girl with finned ears in a gaudy purple outfit that you've described as a sexy pirate Halloween costume from the world's most boogie party city, Dreadclaw Ophelia. It's absolutely garish compared to Vriska's more normcore approach to RP activewear, but dressed much more humbly than the captain are a bunch of low blood standing behind her, clutching shitty rusty swords and shaking. So let's bring the fight to her. You're not slowing down, you're pointing straight at the enemy's hull. Vriska steers your ship directly into the well-pointed schooner, and you struggle to keep your feet at the shock of impact, which knocks the violet blood in her frightened thralls to the deck of Rue. She yells over the din of horrific wood-on-wood screeching. Hey, swabby! Wanna be really good at sword fighting? You look at her with stars in your eyes. Yes, you do really wanna be good at sword fighting. You nod eagerly. She underhand tosses you her blue-hilted saber, which you catch eagerly. Vriska grins back. She puts a hand to her temple and squints with her one good eye. The 7 red dots of her prosthetic seem to smear and blur as your vision loses focus. You've managed well to this point as first man of the Brigante, but your sea legs seem to give out on you all at once. You drop the sword you were given and it clatters to the deck. Try and tell her something's wrong, but your mouth walls open and you drool a bit. Dull pain gains a sharp and sudden clarity. Feels as though 8 spindly legs are crawling on your head. No, in your head. In your head. Each footfall feels like a knife cutting through butter. At some point, all sensation slips into nothing, and you follow the sword to the ground, asleep. What the fuck? Wake up, moron! You don't hear that, and you don't wake up. The salt and swell of the ocean gives way to the rusting of alien trees. No longer do you hear the scream gulls of following your ship, waiting for corpses and gore to tumble overboard. It's all peaceful. Consciousness returns to you, and it's first present to the discovery that you're face down in slightly wet dirt and got some in your mouth. You spit it out, and sit up, brushing muck off your Flarp costume. Wait, that's not Flarp costume, that's a hoodie with a jagged Krulian symbol. A different symbol on it, loose-fitting, as though it belonged to a friend. Half memories swim in your mind as you take in the scene. Just as familiar as your clothing, a stump sitting in a clearing beneath the trunks of a purple tree Alternia forest. A harpoon sticks out of it. This stump would typically fill you with unease as aura of death and defeat, but squirrely silhouette cuts through the darkness. You step further into the clearing and feel your heart lift. Sitting there on the stump, kicking bare feet back and forth, tilting her head to the side and smiling impishly, is your friend, Baldir Lamatai. You remember her. Psst. Fancy seeing you here. That's a joke. I'm a fake man of your imagination. I was expecting you the whole time. She pats the stump next to her. She pats the stump next to her in an inviting gesture, and you sit down. You feel less adrift than you can ever remember. You tell her you missed her. Of course you did. You've gotten yourself into a real mess, dear friend. You ask about all your old friends sitting next to you. They flip through your mind clear as day. as though the memories were never locked away in the first place. How are Tagora and Gallic doing? Has she run into Ardata again? What's going on in the neighborhood? Do folks miss you? That last question collapses her weary smile into a genuine, crestfallen expression. I can't really tell you that for sure. You've seen for yourself just how much he can do. There's a whole other disturbance in this neighborhood, and it has his nefarious fingerprints all over it. It's almost like he was preparing for this. But I try to stay one step ahead, and I remember what I'm fighting for. Do you? The question is arresting. What are you doing? Even with your memory clouded, you've just been bumbling into other people's stories, breaking things as you go. Well, there's nothing wrong with breaking things. It's like they say. Sometimes you have to compromise a few unfertilized cluck beast embryo in the name of a complete breakfast. You tell her you haven't had a good breakfast in ages. One of the places you were at had swords in the fridge. Also, you have absolutely no idea what you're doing. You're going where the river takes you. But things are different now. There is a greater power within you that you are just now realizing. The power to shape the river, and to use its waters to scour the lands as you please. A power even he doesn't fully understand. Now look down at your hands, sitting next to her. You start to remember the green room. The story you've fallen into. You tell her there's so much broken, and you have no idea how to fix it. You tell her you wish she was real, and not just in your head. She'd know what to do. She tilts her head again, inquisitively. Am I, though? Just in your head, I mean. The story's only broken if you accept that it's broken. If you think of the story as something given to you, if you think of the story as something given to you, but it's not. Puppet masters may try to tell you that the strings they are pulling are the only ones. As she says this, her head jerks back oddly. But she continues whispering, calm as ever. Don't be afraid. Don't let anyone tell you that this story belongs to them. Not him, not anyone. You feel it too. It feels like threads tug at your body, and at hers even more. Her limbs twitch and pull in gruesome pantomime as more and more strings loop around her and completely disappear skyward. They nearly surround her completely, but you are powerless to resist. Paralyzed. It's for you. It's always been for you. Remember, friend, the only question. She only manages to spit out four more words as she is swallowed up and tangled in a spider's web of marionette string, choked and broken. What will you do? The whole scene seems to melt away in searing green, and you are falling, dancing beneath skilled hands controlling you. He is here. He was already. The ticking of 1,000 clocks, exactly in time, echoes around you. Did you miss me? I seem to be on your mind. I'm flattered. It's no wonder you're thinking about me just after meeting one of my greatest disappointments. You really do spend too much time around willful little girls. It may start to give you ideas of choice, of challenge. You're irrelevant because those holding the strings decide you're relevant, an observer. Show must go on, but don't make a mistake these little ingrates did. It can go on without you, the bits that really matter at least. What's that? Am I doing this? I'm afraid not, darling. I don't even know to what you're referring. Tears sear at the edge of your eyes again. You're trying to keep Bold Ear's words in your mind as the strings squeeze the breath out of you. What will you do? Another voice seems to answer. From another place entirely. Scratching loud, it says, fix this. You wake up. Cold stone and a draft greets you. Charming. You blearily open your eyes. Memories of the dream already fading to wisps in your mind. You're in the Clared bedroom, or the Clared res pipe block that you're sure is Vriska's. Based on the broken 8-ball scattered everywhere, you pick yourself up off the ground and try to think about how you got here. Passed out on the brigand, she must have brought you home. But where is she? You turn around and see a window. Look outside and see a dramatic scene below. Vriska is mind-controlling a group of thralls. One she must have won off of Dreadclaw while you were out cold. They're marching one by one towards a massive web. Perched in the web is a giant spider, heaving, hulking, hungry. Vriska is about to feed the losers of this game to release us. Let's watch. You can't watch. Hide in a room and wait. Let's not watch. Okay. Holy shit. Vriska Losas as a giant spider monster that eats children. This explains so much, and also raises a significant number of questions that you're going to think about while not watching these kids get eaten. You look for something to distract yourself with. You spot a black, raggedy book, much older than anything else in this room, with Vriska's symbol on the cover. You'll reach forward and open it up, flipping to a random page and seeing what looks like a journal scrawled in Krulian, but not Vriska's handwriting from your character sheet. Looking inside the first page, you see the name Mindfang. You read, and holy shit, you're very unsure this is appropriate for a young girl to be reading. You keep flipping through to different parts, and wow, it is just getting worse. Vriska named her character after this. You lose yourself and hate reading Mindfang's long stories about petty crime, dubious consent, and weirdly detailed descriptions of the outfits of a woman named Redglare. You're then surprised when Vriska walks up the stairs, hands in her pocket, looking at the ground. She doesn't even look at you before saying down on the floor across from you, cross-legged and staring 1,000 yards into the distance. She rocks back and forth, hands still in her pockets. You go to give her a reassuring pat on the back, and as soon as you touch her metal shoulder, cold even through her shirt, she turns to you with a jumping glare and hisses like a cat before facing away again. You get the message. She takes an 8-ball out of her inventory again and then savagely, brutally, beats on the stone floor of her room until it's nothing but shards in a puddle. Then the two of you sit. She occasionally picks through the debris of an 8-ball and rocks, clenching and unclenching her fist. But as the minutes pass, her breathing slows bit by bit. You don't say a word or bring up what happened. She's the one who talks first. Earlier, you seemed confused about why I care so much about playing a character. She thumbs the dog-eared edge of a worn piece of paper in her sharp-clawed hand. Staring at the wall, she's still got blood on her jacket, blood that almost makes you retch with the memory of spidery mandibles devouring her spoils. One glimpse of it made you sick. What would dozens do? Hundreds. I mean, it's obvious to me that the Mar is the greatest and coolest character ever made. But I've seen her for so long, it's sort of like a part of me. Everybody's throwing shapes every day and acting like something, right? But most people are so boring. They don't dress up, they don't act, they're always so obsessed with being the exact kind of troll they were yesterday. Maybe you don't have to be the same. Maybe you can go on message boards and try out being someone new and find out you like it. Maybe it's nice to be called something your Losas doesn't call you. Meet people who only ever knew you as the girl online or on the other ship who is like super badass and good at things. Come on! You can't tell me you never wanted to be someone else. You edged a bit closer to her during this rant and are looking at the sheet of paper in your hand. It's a spreadsheet-looking series of boxes she's filled in with red ink. Name, Mar Spinneret Mindfang. Class, Petticoat Sea Crypt. Gender, F. Levels, all of them. She's doodled all over the margins. Art of her captaining ships and swinging swords and drinking out of goblets. Have you ever wanted to be someone else? The question makes you feel uncomfortable. Or makes you uncomfortable. Just pondering who you are now fills you with unease. Fuck playing a character. Filling out a sheet like this for yourself seems impossible. A piece of paper representing all your physical and mental attributes, a blank canvas and the common outlines. They're on defining the boundaries of every conceivable personality. You don't even know how you'd fill in the gender box. You've been pretty busy making friends, okay? Suddenly she turns to you and there's a desperate, kind of a crazy intensity in her good eye, like her gaze will burn you. You're going to leave, aren't you? No, yeah, of course, everybody does. Do you think I like this? I used to have a partner. She didn't like it either, but she helped anyway. Like you. I guess, except she didn't puke when she saw blood. And also not like you at all. She made rules, she loves rules. And I don't know if you noticed, but I'm not, like, big on those. Gambling. Queens broke rules all the time. And that's just what you've got to do to survive. To make the voice stop interviewing me, and like she heard her Lucis in her head too, but like she didn't need anything from her. What's that even like? I've got to be the best. I have to. I didn't get all the levels just to look at them on the sheet. You saw me out there. It's dangerous. She tried to kill me and left me alone. Then I got even because that's what you have to do to backstabbers. But I still don't feel even. It doesn't bother her. Nobody cares. They just leave and move on, and I'm still stuck here on this stupid world. How are people mad at me for putting losers out of their fucking misery? This planet fucking sucks. Ooh, boy, that is a lot. You let her finish her tirade. She hasn't looked straight at you for the whole thing. Gently ask about how her Moirail, who you did just befriend, would feel about her saying she's alone. You see a lot of thoughts flicker through her head, and a lot of expressions dance across her face. She settles onto a look like she's smelling something off. People always want shit from other people. Sometimes you know somebody and you can't describe like what your whole deal is. You grow up with these ideas about what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to be. You get handed down these strict categories. Tables in your parents' handbook. And you read stories or journals or whatever that say this is a mate sprint. You feel like this about them. And you have a Moirail that meddles with you because you're just too broken for her, and she just once. Or you get told, oh, this is what a rival would look like, and then you look at your black date, and it's just an absolutely repulsive slimy eel who always wants you to kiss him. An eel? Man, I could really upgrade in that department. But then there's someone that comes along and none of that stuff makes sense to you. You just like being with her. Or it's not even like you just feel that shit makes more sense with her. I would say it's like you have this voice in your head saying you're not good enough all the time, but she makes it quiet. But I actually do have a voice in my head saying I'm not good enough. God, I'm not explaining this right. What I'm trying to say is, yeah, that is a doomsday. Yes, Yeah, that's a doomsday device. Everyone leaves. Nobody cares. We're all waiting on a call up to war, and look, I'm ready. I'm the best at war. It's just a big florp. But I'd rather have a plan B. Or 8. You give Vriska a moment to breathe. You don't give her a reassuring touch on the back, remembering her jump and hiss when you tried that last. She's like a feral cat, this girl. Tangled, greasy hair droops over her shoulders that are always hunched up. Like something would come for her throat if she exposed it to anyone. You wonder if she ever let her shoulders down around the girl she's talking about. An ex, perhaps? Of course he did. You wonder if she ever will again. You hear a psst in your ear and a squirrely little laugh, and suddenly remember a green room that you've had this thought before somehow. You ask her the question that's been consuming you. Or more accurately, not consuming you. Why were you left up here when everyone else got fed to the spider? She tenses up immediately when you ask this. Take some time to clench your fists, then release them. Some people are off limits. She has to eat, but she doesn't eat my friends when I bring her enough food. And you count it as off limits? You're one of her friends? Oh my god, don't get a big head about it. I won't let her eat Karkat either. And he's not like my BFF for life or anything. Plus, you helped out. And that's the pipe code. Plus, Fussy Fangs would be mad. It must be hard separating trolls into 2 classes, friends and food, like that. It must be hard, and nobody understands. I mean, that's how it works here. Everybody's got someone to kick down. Except Rustbloods. But them's the breaks. Them's the breaks. Somebody's gotta be on the bottom to keep the whole shebang afloat. To keep the whole shebang afloat. Killing people lower down than you is what all the school feeds say you're supposed to do. To get ready for a life of space war against, well, it mostly seems like they just kill more lowbloods. That's all it ever is. My ancestor. She looks left and right as though she's going to be overheard, then leans in smirkingly. She sounds like she's letting you in on a secret. My ancestor, Mindfang, she sailed around being the terror of the high seas for a while, but she fell in with a group that was going to do something about all that. A bunch of weirdos led by a mutant who wanted revolution. I've always wanted to be like her. I like using her name more than my own for a while, dressing up like her, learning to sail. I always end up back here with a pile of corpses. That's having elusives, right? Sometimes you don't get to do what you want to do. She talks to me, you know. It only stops when she's full. Always, whispering in my head, saying I was fatter than her, saying I deserved all the things that happened to me, even when I was bleeding out on this floor. You look at the cold, cluttered, uncomfortably drafty room. Whatever happened to her face and arm must have happened to you. You see a broken figure silhouetted on the wall. You look back at Vriska, and you know what she is. For all the bombast, insults, killing, you're looking at a survivor. You're looking at someone who did nothing wrong. You remember Dave's carefully crafted defense of a persona. You remember Rose eating oatmeal for dinner in a drafty, brutalist mansion. Jade in the shadow of a volcano raising herself. Your world can be as brutal as this one. Earth makes survivors too, and you have made a difference for them, one at a time. All of the nihilistic bullshit earlier feels like it was shouted at you by some meddling voice, someone holding the strings. Fuck that. You're going to be a goddamn hero today. You're going to make friends with this whole fucking planet, if you have to, and you're going to make it better. Or at least, less of a complete dumpster. Tell Vriska you'll be right back and sprint down a spiral staircase. Jesus. You keep running, pumping your beautiful legs straight out the door of Vriska's giant hive. You don't have to color inside the lines of someone else's story. This is your motherfucking narrative now. You take a leap when you reach the cliff and barrel over, falling fast. Wind whipping past your face as you tumble through the air towards the giant white spider. A leap, not of faith, but of hope. You crash into the carapace of Vriska's terrible murder mom, hard cracking it with a piercing shriek. At the same time you... zap! Hundreds of feet above the mouth of volcano on Jade's Island, and kick off the back of the spider, leaving the giant troll-gorged arachnid tumbling into the lava as you zap back to Alternia, back to Vriska's respite block. As you appear behind her, she doesn't notice you. She's looking out the window, down at the empty web, with a shocked expression. Still looking out the window, her stunned silence slowly turns into a grin. Someone less generous than you would describe as shit-eating. Holy shit, Marks! You actually did something. Hell fucking yes. Now, it's time to intervene. My hand fell asleep again. Holy shit. This was supposed to be a game. These innocent kids are getting fed to a fucking spider, and it's all because of your definitely essential contributions to Vriska's victory. This is so messed up. Games don't cause violence, you think, as you rush down the stairwell. They can't. Vriska is going to discredit an entire generation of gamers and add fuel to the fire of anti-gaming activism with this kind of behavior. Oh, and also kill some kids. That's like normal Alternia stakes, though. You gotta defend the integrity of Fortnite. That's much more important, obviously. Yeah. You rush outside into late night air. Too late to save a tranquilized mind control olive blood from being torn asunder. Vriska's Lusas holds the troll boy in her forelegs, petty palms tearing through clothing and curry tear into gray flesh, feeding a winding intestine into her mouth. You feel like you're going to yards. You have no idea what you're doing, staying out here alone against a giant mind-controlled monster. Out here against a giant monster and this gaggle of mind-controlled thralls, but you gulp down some air and yell stop. Vriska turns to you, and she doesn't look like she's doing a lot better, frankly. She's got a similarly sick expression on her face, but something in her eyes is dead, resigned. Her expression crumbles into a scowl. What the fuck are you doing? She squints her eye in pain like there's a voice screaming inside her head. I know, okay? I know! I'm dealing with it. She steps up towards you and you see the Krulian dice appear one at a time between her fingers. The dice are sparking with cold blue flame. You suddenly feel as though you're going to have a very, very bad time. First, you fall asleep on me like a weenie and I have to fight the last encounter all on my own. Then I carry you back to safety even though we just met. You owe me! Turn around and go back. Now. You look up past her, at the giant spider. The awful noise of squelching has stopped. Eight eyes are trained on you, blinking out of order. A spattered Pollock palette of multicolored blood is smeared all over her slavering mouth. There's 7 trolls still standing there beside her, mindless, mouths lolling. Next. You don't turn around. You don't go back. You stand your ground, unarmed and without a plan. Surely your new friend will see how wrong this is. Vriska looks hurt for a moment, betrayed, but the same glare settles back on her face. You think you're a big hero stopping this dangerous bitch, right? Happy as a bivalve, 8-valve, something. Mollusk about your little protagonist moment. You're being stupid. You don't understand what's happening here. What I have to do. You can't fix this. Nobody can. So now you're just another little weenie who thinks they're a hero and I'm a villain. So sure, I'll play ball. I'll be exactly what you want. Oh no. She tosses the dice on the ground. Baroness restrained. The dice glow blue flame as they tumble to a stop. An ethereal whip materializes and snaps around your ankles, and you are dragged dizzyingly fast towards the spider's web. The friction of your ass on the rocky cliff face tears the butt off of your flarp costume, exposing your delicate cheeks to chafing. Your greatest asset. But things get far worse than that, as you are flung directly into the clutches of the horrific arachnid. The fangs of Veriska's Usas pierce your skin and pump you full of a numbing venom that causes everything to fade to black and static numbness, which is good because she's beginning to eat you alive. It's also good because you can't see or hear little girls stifle a sniffle, holding herself with crossed arms, one mechanical, and rocking back and forth, watching another friend consumed by this chaos that never leaves her. Great work, hero. You got bored. Game over. That is it. Again, we are done with Volume 6. In the next video, we will go on to Volume 7 and such. If you liked this video, give it a like. Check out my other content. Make sure to check out the Best Request playlist. That should be in the top right corner. And such. And yeah. Have a good day. Do what you do best. And do it well.